Today I'm at the grocery store to see if I can feed my family of 4 on just $20 a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And with grocery prices the way they are, this is going to be a little bit harder than we thought. So the last grocery budget challenge I did was about $100. It was a little under $100 for 5 days. And so I thought it would be fun to do one for just one day for $20. One of the things that people liked about the last video is that I focused a lot on quick convenience foods, because none of us that work full-time and have kids running around have time to be making beans from scratch and bread from scratch after we get home from work. I love to do that kind of stuff, but let's get real, we don't have time to do that every day. So this is going to be an attainable menu for one day. All right, eggs are $1 for a dozen here at Walmart, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab 1 dozen of these. Okay, I'm also going to get some sour cream. I don't need a full 16 ounces, so we're gonna go with the smaller container for $1.16. I'm gonna get some Walmart brand crescent rolls. We're gonna go with the flaky, buttery ones because they're better, I think, and they're the same price. We're also gonna grab some extra sharp cheddar cheese in a block. It's only $2 versus $2.22 for the already shredded, so that saves us a bit of money. Okay, I grabbed 1 package of hot dogs. I know I say it all the time, but these Chi-Chi's flour tortillas are the best bang for your buck at Walmart. You get 12 tortillas for $1.84. We're actually gonna use these for breakfast. Okay, so on the last video I posted, someone commented and said that making beans and rice from scratch is not hard or time consuming. And while I tend to agree with you for the most part, I do not agree that making homemade beans or like beans from a dry state, that is time consuming. Like, you're not gonna come home from work and do that at 6 p.m. when you have kids running around and they're hungry. So I'm gonna grab 2 cans of pinto beans. As far as the rice, I'm not gonna be using rice in this meal plan. I would say that some people are intimidated by cooking rice. It can be hard to cook. It can be difficult to get right. And for some people, dried beans are very intimidating. And so I'm trying to make this type of meal plan a little bit more approachable. These frozen vegetables are some of the best bang for your buck at Walmart. So I'm gonna get 1 bag of the broccoli cuts, and then I'm also gonna get 1 bag of the mixed vegetables. Okay, so I'm gonna get a 5-pound bag of potatoes, and I cannot believe how expensive they are now, over $4. All right, so I got everything on my list. We're gonna go to the checkout and see how much we spent. If you're a parent, it's no secret that you have people relying on you probably to cook and clean for them and all of that stuff. But when the unexpected happens, do you have life insurance coverage? That is why I'm glad that today's video is sponsored by Fabric by Gerber Life. Fabric was actually designed by parents for parents to help you get a high quality, surprisingly affordable term life insurance policy in less than 10 minutes. They also have flexible policies that fit your family and your budget, with quality policies like $1 million in coverage for less than $1 a day. You could go from start to covered in less than 10 minutes with no health exam required. And if you're not sure if life insurance is right for you, you can take a quick 60-second quiz to find out. There's no risk to apply. They also have a 30-day money-back guarantee, and you can cancel at any time. They have over 1,700 5-star reviews and are rated as excellent on Trustpilot. So join the thousands of parents who have chosen Fabric by Gerber Life to protect their family. You can apply today in just minutes. You just go to meetfabric.com/Jen. That's meetfabric.com/Jen to apply today. meetfabric.com/Jen. You can click the link below or tap the screen right here. And thank you again to Fabric by Gerber Life for sponsoring today's video. All right, so here's everything I was able to get for $20. I did go a little bit over budget, so I'll share that with you in a little bit, but I did get a dozen eggs. I also picked up a package of hot dogs. These were on sale for $2.50 and they're name brand, so that's a pretty good deal. 8 ounces of sharp cheddar cheese, a smaller package of sour cream, package of crescent rolls. I also got my flour tortillas, and then a 5-pound bag of russet potatoes. We're actually going to use these for every meal. 2 cans of just plain pinto beans, and then I was just going to go ahead and get 2 or 3 apples, but then I thought I would have enough to get a couple of bananas too. As it ends up, I ended up spending $20.73. I still consider that a win. Obviously, you can cut down on the bananas and apples if you want to keep it under 20. I got a package of the broccoli cuts and then the mixed vegetables. These are both 88 cents each. All right, so we're starting out with breakfast, obviously, and I'm going to be making eggs with potatoes, some refried beans, and some tortillas. So I went ahead and peeled the potatoes, and I cubed them into about 1-inch cubes. I just soaked them in some water overnight and then drain them in the morning. And I'm going to go ahead and saute these in a little bit of vegetable oil. For the idea for this particular meal, I got it from the YouTube channel Simply Mama Cooks. I know I've mentioned here before. She also has a cookbook, so I'll link her channel down below. But she made this, I think, as a breakfast for dinner one time, and I was like, oh, that sounds really good. So I figured it would be great to do for this budget challenge because all of the ingredients are pretty inexpensive. So I did go ahead and cover the potatoes. You can see here, this Always pan is honestly not my favorite. It says it's nonstick. You guys, it's not nonstick. I do not recommend it at all. But I did cover the potatoes so that they did cook a little bit quicker. And then I went ahead and drained the pinto beans. I reserved some of the bean liquid. And then I'm going to go ahead and pour that in with the beans and then mash those together with a potato masher and some seasoning. So I like to use chicken bouillon. I put obviously a little bit of salt and pepper in there, cumin, maybe some coriander, and a little bit of cayenne pepper just to make it a tiny bit spicy. I am going to use a little bit of the sour cream that I got to whisk in with my eggs. I shared this tip a while back, and it does make a really creamy scrambled egg. So once the potatoes were done, I kind of scooted those off to the edges and poured the eggs in the middle. Once my beans have cooked a little bit, you can see these are how they look. They're super delicious. If you've never made refried beans from just canned pinto beans, I highly recommend it. I'm going to heat my tortillas up in a skillet, and then I will grate my cheese. We're going to use this for several meals throughout the day today. We can use some for breakfast and some for lunch with our baked potatoes that we're going to make. I just cooked the eggs slowly with the potatoes. We had this with some hot sauce, some refried beans on the side, and our tortillas. I did put a little bit of cheese on the refried beans. So highly recommend trying this. It's really good. It's a good meatless meal, and you can even make breakfast tacos out of it if you want to. Okay, so next up is lunch. So I'm going to go ahead and use the leftover eggs that I have. I had 4 eggs left over after using 8 for breakfast. I'm going to boil these and make deviled eggs out of them. For lunch, we're going to have baked potatoes with broccoli and cheese and sour cream. And I thought it would be good to have some deviled eggs on the side, and then we'll have some fruit on the side as well. So I just put my eggs in an ice bath, and I wait until they are completely cool, peel them, have them, and you can see with my 4 eggs, I will get 8 deviled eggs out of that. You know you come here for the deviled egg math, right? I'm kidding. Okay, so you mash up the egg yolks, obviously, and this is a matter of preference, what you like in your deviled eggs. I use a little bit of dill relish. Sometimes I put a pinch of sugar in there. I use regular mayo, salt and pepper. You could use sweet relish if you wanted to, but these turned out really good, and I am going to put a lid on those and stick them in the fridge until it's time for lunch. So I love a good baked potato meal. I could eat a baked potato as a meal anytime. I think it's just so versatile, and mostly everybody likes them. So I put my potatoes on a baking sheet that I line with foil, and I'm just drizzling them with a little bit of olive oil, and then sprinkling them with some kosher salt. This just helps the skins get a little bit crispy. I do make sure to poke my potatoes with a fork or a knife. I did forget to do that once, and I had a potato blow up in my oven, and I highly do not recommend that. But these take about an hour and 15 minutes to bake because they were pretty large. I usually bake them at 400 degrees. I cannot say enough good things about, again, these bagged frozen vegetables from Walmart. They're so convenient. You just stick them right in the microwave. And here was lunch. So a good sized baked potato with broccoli and some of that cheese that I shredded up earlier, had a couple of deviled eggs, and then I cut up an apple on the side. And of course, I had to show you guys the sour cream because I forgot to put the sour cream on. You could even stick some bacon bits on that if you have any left over in the fridge, but that was a really good lunch. Okay, so for dinner with the rest of the ingredients that I have left, I'm going to use my potatoes to make some oven fries. I do this quite often. You guys have seen me make oven fries, roasted potatoes, all of that kind of stuff. I did price buying potatoes versus buying like actual frozen fries, and it came out cheaper for me to buy the potatoes because I could then use them for several meals. So I just put these on a baking tray that's lined with parchment paper. I sprayed them with a little bit of avocado oil spray, and then I'm just tossing them with some Lowry's seasoned salt. I really love the taste of Lowry's seasoned salt on potatoes, but obviously you can use any type of seasoning if you want. If you don't have any seasoning blend, you could just use salt, pepper, garlic powder. That's a really good mix as well. The key to these is to just try and make sure you can get them in as much of a single layer as possible, just so they can get a little bit crispy in the oven. And I do flip them over halfway through cooking. So I put these in the oven, I think at 425. It probably took anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. It'll depend on how big you cut the potatoes and then obviously the heat of your oven. So pigs in a blanket, I think they're called different things. Different people call them different things, but basically they are hot dogs wrapped in crescent rolls and baked. So I like to actually heat my hot dogs up in the oven a little bit, kind of pre-cook them a little bit before I wrap them in the crescent roll and cook them. Now, let me know, do you guys like cheese in your pigs in a blanket? I personally do. That's how we had them growing up. We would have like a half a slice of American cheese in there, like a Kraft single. I did not add it to this particular meal plan because I did not have the budget for it, but if you still have some of that leftover shredded cheese from lunch, you could totally add that in here, or you could just leave them without the cheese and just have pigs in a blanket with ketchup and mustard. So that's how my fries turned out. They turned out really good. And then I also steamed up that bag of veggies in the microwave. And so this was definitely a very cheap, crowd-pleasing meal for dinner. Fries, pigs in a blanket, and mixed veggies. Who wouldn't want that? So thank you guys for coming along with me today. Let me know if you want me to do more of these videos. And don't forget to check out Fabric by Gerber Life. I'll have that link in the description box below. And thanks for being here for another video. If you want to see my last what's for dinner video, you can click here.